Welcome to the Point of Focus podcast. Jer's back to talk everything into reality.
We'll be back every week all season long
with your host, Jeremy Piccott.
Focusing only on things that we want to get bigger in our lives.
Made by coaches and collaborators coming together for the purpose of co-creating.
Enjoy or join the in-depth discussion, information, and how-tos.
Stay tuned for another episode of the Point of Focus podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Point of Focus podcast. In today's episode, we're extremely pleased to have motivational speaker and sales expert, PJ Reilly. He's here today to share his journey to sales success, which started with only $1,100 in his pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, PJ Reilly.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for having me on the Point of Focus podcast, man. I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this all week. So I'll go back and kind of give you the overview of where I started and then kind of what got us from there to here. We grew up as kids. My dad was in the military, so we lived all over the world. You know, we live in different cities, different countries. So we bounced around a lot. Landed in Denver, Colorado. So that's where he retired. Ended up going to high school and college in Colorado. High school ended up with a 2.0 GPA. College ended up with a 2.0 GPA. So that is the minimum amount allowed to get the piece of paper to say you were good enough to leave our school. And honestly, I have a feeling the teachers kind of wanted me out, so they might have bumped it up a little bit. Might have been a 1.8, and they kind of kicked me up just a little bit. So from there, man, I bounced around to multiple different, entrepreneurial endeavors. You know, always had a day job, and then I would try to add something in as well. So I tried insurance, I tried personal training. I thought about this the other day, and I forgot about one entrepreneurial endeavor I'd done a long time ago. I worked with a guy and we tried to put credit card readers into police cars. So we decided to come up with this great idea where you could pay your speeding ticket right there as you got it. You know, the cop pulls you over, you pull out your credit card, run it, it's paid, you're good, you're free to go. Tried that. Not too many cities wanted their officers running credit cards. So that didn't work out, at least at that time. Tried insurance, tried professional sports, kickboxing, boxing, try to do that. Really, all of them went okay, but never really to the point where I felt like it was going to be a profession, like a career. So one day, a friend of mine we're talking. He's like, you know what, man, you should invest in Detroit. You're an entrepreneurial guy. You got to invest in the city of Detroit, Michigan. And I was like, why? He's like, I know nothing about real estate at all. He's like, well, you have a lot of great infrastructure. You can buy a house for $1. So I said, okay, I'm going to go and search this on the place where you search anything. You know, when you can't fix your toilets, you got to fix something in your house. You go to YouTube, right? That's where everybody goes. So I figured I'll go to YouTube and figure out how to buy a house in Detroit for $1. And he's like, so I go on there and I'm looking around, and it's a lot more difficult than I thought. And it's not $1. You end up paying tens of thousands of dollars on these houses. You know, people are ripping out the infrastructure. They're pulling out the copper wiring. I don't live in Detroit, and I don't want to fly out there every day to make sure my house hasn't been destroyed. Now, during the course of my research, though, I find a guy who is buying and selling vacant land online. So I was like, okay, I've always wanted to own land. I've always wanted to have, maybe just tell my friends I have some land down south where I can go, you know, camp and do whatever we want to do, you know? So I got through about half of the video and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. You know, that entrepreneurial mindset, you're like, I got enough information, you know, it's like ready, fire, aim, right? And so I'm like, I can do this. I already know how to do it. I've only gotten through half the video now, mind you. So I go to Zillow. Zillow is a place where you find, you know, homes and land and all kinds of real estate for sale online. So I find a guy and he's got 2 properties for sale and they're $1,100 each. Well, crazy enough, I have an envelope in my home because I'd done direct sales, I'd accumulated $1,200. So I was like, okay, I got enough to buy one of these. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not what I do. I lowball this guy. That's what I do. Because I've gone through half this tutorial video on land. So I know just enough. I'm not supposed to pay retail price for this. At least I know that. So I get there and I say, okay, each of your properties are $1,100. What if I could buy both of them for $1,100? Would you accept that? And I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to laugh at me, tell me I'm stupid. But no, he said, yes. He's like, yeah, absolutely. No problem. And I was like, all right, what do we do now? Where do we go now? Like, I have like I said, I've gotten through half the video. I know nothing about this. So I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So he's like, don't worry about it, man. I'll do all the work. I'll prepare a deed. Just send me a check. You send me this check and I'll take care of it for you. It's like, all right, it sounds easy enough. I send the guy the check. He sends in a deed. He records it. County sends it back to me. And now I own these two little properties. And there's just two little squares with basically grass and dirt, nothing amazing. But I was like, man, I own something now. So yeah, I started to, I watched the rest of the video, went back and watched the rest of the tutorial video so I could learn how to do this. Found a few more videos, kind of progressed from there, figured out you got to send letters to all these property owners and make offers on their property. So I said, okay, I'm going to start doing that. So I went more and more and more, bought a few more. And that's kind of where we're at today. Buying a lot of land.
Wow. So now you also sell this land, obviously, or you just stockpiling it?
No, I sell it. And so that's kind of the interesting part of the whole thing is, so I buy the property. Now, when I go to sell it, let's say I buy a property for $5,000 and I sell it for 15, right? The vast majority of people can't come up with $15,000. The vast majority of the guys I'm dealing with, they want to hunt, they want to fish, they want to, bug out, they want to just have a place to go. But they don't have $15,000 just sitting in their bank account. And especially they don't have $15,000. They can tell their wife, hey, I got this crazy idea. We're going to buy dirt. We're going to use all our savings and just buy this land in the middle of nowhere. So they can't afford that. What they can afford is about $300 a month for 50 months. So I'm owner financing the property to them. So they get the property they've always wanted. They get everything they want out of the deal. I get a smoke in return and everybody's happy. And it's very simple. It's a lot more simple that way than dealing with, a big lump sum cash payment.
Wow. So now have you helped other people get into this as well?
Oh yeah. When you start telling people that you do something a little out of the ordinary, they always want to know kind of what it is. And a lot of people want to know, is this something I could do? They want to know if they could do this themselves. So I'll go to networking groups, like real estate networking groups. And these are places where you just basically have a beer and you talk shop pretty much. Almost all of them are realtors or housing, they have something to do with houses. When you tell them you buy and sell land and at the returns you're getting, that's what immediately the topic just turns to that. They just want to talk about how you do this. Like, I've never heard of this before. How do you do this? So absolutely. Yeah, I totally help people like that. Brand new people most of the time. There are other, there's coaching programs out there and things like that. And a lot of those guys will maybe not get their questions answered from their current person they're working with. So they always come to me. I'm pretty much doing that. I'd say at least one new person a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So what would be like a minimum investment for, say, somebody like myself or one of my listeners to get involved with something like this, like nowadays?
Sure. So you can go online right now and buy a property for, let's say, $100. So if you bought a property at what's called a tax auction, so the property owner stops paying their taxes, right? So the county has to figure out a way to get that property back on a tax roll, right? They want to keep making money off that property. So they'll just sell the property on an open auction online. You can go in there and buy a property for $100. And then the county's happy, they get their taxes, and you get a piece of property for an unreal cheap price. Those are okay. So you can buy those. Those are decent properties. What I would say is you probably want to come up with, let's say, around $1,500, $1,500 US, to get a property that's going to sell easily, and you can maybe 3-4 extra money pretty quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So do you have like a system or a program that you take new people through to help them with this journey?
For me, it's a Zoom call. So initially, I will sit down. I'll have an initial kind of explaining what the land business is if they don't necessarily understand what it is. That'll be call one, right? After that, we just have a walkthrough. They ask me questions on the fly. So we have maybe an hour call a month, and they'll ask me, so what do I do here? What do I do here? Because there's so many things that come up. They're foreign. It's like a foreign language to the average person, why does this have a lien against it? What's a lien? Does this have access? What about it? What's an HOA fee? And do I have to pay all these things? What do I have to do here? There's just so many questions that you're going to have to ask on the fly. So I try to get people on a call kind of like this and just explain things and make it as easy as possible.
Nice. So you just guide and mentor them. It's not necessarily
Absolutely.
a set thing.
It's not a set program. I don't have a set coaching program. I do mentor a lot of people though.
That's amazing. And then how do people get involved with this? Like, where do we find you?
So you can find me on, we have the website at wholesalelandusa.com. You can get us on Facebook. Facebook's probably one of the main places that I seem to go back and forth with people. You can just look me up, PJ Reilly on Facebook. We have a Patreon. So we'll include I'll send you that information you can put in the notes, or just email me. That's one of the easiest ways. Typically it's Facebook. I get a lot of Facebook messages, where somebody will just ask, hey, I saw that you do this. How do I get involved? Like, how can I want to learn about it. I just want to know what it is. And then I'll respond there, and we'll just kind of go back and forth, have a dialogue. Sometimes they'll stick around. Sometimes, they'll take off and do their own thing and do great. And, either way, I'm here for them when they need me.
That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then say your email address out loud, just so everybody's got it.
Info at wholesalelandusa.com.
That's awesome. And then as far as location, are you guys doing this all over the USA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll buy in any state. I typically stick to the Southeast and then the Western states. Northeastern states sometimes have different laws, different taxes. It's not always investor friendly. So I'll stick to the Western side of the United States. Anything west of the Mississippi, phenomenal. Southeast, phenomenal. It's all built for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And now let's say somebody did this. What do you think would be a expected turnaround time for a sale?
Sure. So, certain parts of the country, I'll put a property online. And first of all, I want to tell you where I sell properties. So the vast majority of the properties I sell are on Facebook Marketplace. So I'll go into a buy sell group, onto the actual marketplace itself, post a property. Now, turnaround time, I'll tell you, sometimes as quick as 20 minutes. Now, I don't want to tell people that, because everyone's going to think if it's not 20 minutes, it's a failure. Anywhere between 20 minutes and maybe a week. But once you put it on there, with financing, with that, no interest, just simple financing. It's a no-brainer. These people that are on there are already looking for land. They already know what they want. You just need to provide it for them, and make it as simple and as convenient for them as humanly possible. And if you can do that, you beat out all your competition.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So if you were able to plant a seed in people's mind right now and let that grow into something beautiful, what would that seed be?
Yeah. So a seed, if you are an entrepreneur and you're just getting started, or even if you've been around for a while, and maybe things aren't going where you want them to go, I would say the most important thing you can have is consistency. That's been my bread and butter since I started this. I was never the smartest guy in the room. I graduated high school and college with a 2.0. You can't get any possibly worse than that, and continue on. We didn't come from money. We never had any sort of finances that were given to us as young adults to kind of get us on our way. I would say find something you really are passionate about, and that you really, and not only just passionate, but you see a future with. I love working out, but I'm never going to be Mr. Olympia. So it has to be something that has an eventual outcome. But consistency is number one. If you show up every single day, you will beat out almost all of your competition just by showing up. That'd be my seed: consistency.
Awesome. And then how could somebody work on being consistent?
Sure.
Maybe have like 2 or 3 little tips.
Sure. So I would say 3 things. Number 1, write everything down. So if you want to be consistent, you're going to have to keep telling yourself the same thing over and over again. So every day I wake up and I write down my goals. So I'll write down 5, 6, 10 goals every single day, and I won't look at the previous days. I'll write down, financial, business, whatever they happen to be. But I want to be looking at my goals every single day. So you have to be super consistent with that. You have to be there every single day writing those things down. Day 55, you may be like, this is dumb. I don't need to do this. I already know what they are. Write them down anyway. Look at them, read them over, write them down twice a day, 3 times a day. Constantly be writing those goals down. I'd say number 2 would probably be get a mentor. Have someone there who can help you when you're struggling. There's going to definitely be times where you're like, all right, I have no idea where to go from this point. I'm at a certain level. How do I move to the next level? How do I keep growing? And a mentor is basically like a cheat code for life. If you have a mentor, you don't need to go search for questions or for answers yourself. You have somebody there that will, that will give you the answers before you even, so you don't have to go look for them. Anyway, long story short, number 3, I would say get known. Have people know you. If nobody knows you, nobody wants to do business with you. I was talking to a kid the other day about this. I was like, dude, you are an awesome human being. You do everything right, but nobody knows who you are. Get on podcasts, make a YouTube channel, get on Instagram, and do it every day. You got to be hitting that every single day. You got to be on Instagram, and it has to be relevant to what you're doing. You want to keep it somewhat consistent. You want to have the topic consistent, but get known, have people know you, go to networking groups, meet people, and do it in a genuine way too. If you don't own a private jet, right? Don't go stand near the airport and take pictures yourself next to private jets, right? Go hang out with people, be normal, be a normal human being, be genuine about your desires and your interests, and they'll follow that. They'll like that. And you'll start to build a network of people that will absolutely help your career, your business, and make you move a lot faster.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100% because they know the walls that you're going to get stuck at and where the door is, so they can just let you through.
Absolutely.
100%. So on that topic, can we talk about cost? Like, is this an expensive thing to have you mentor somebody through, or like what's the cost involved with that, with some personal coaching?
Super low. I'm more into, I'm not really there for the return as much on coaching. I make a great amount in the land business itself. First call, I'll tell you flat out. First call is $50. Every additional, if you sign up if you do the monthly calls, that's $50 a month, and that's all. I'll help you 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month for a call. And that's our price right now. Who knows where it's going to go from here. But initially, $50, and we can talk.
That's the offer that's on the table right now.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to share with us?
No, man, right now, I've been meeting a lot of people that are, they're kind of at a certain point in life. Maybe they're not, I'm not talking to the 21-year-olds. I'm talking to the 45-year-olds that are saying, man, I miss my boat. It's too late. I got a job. I've been working construction for, 25 years. I miss my boat. I thought something was going to happen, and it's too late. I would like to tell those people it's absolutely not too late. You can start today, and it doesn't have to be land. It can be whatever you want. There's so many different options out there. Find something that you see a future in, that you enjoy doing. Find a mentor, get after it, and stay focused. And assuming you do find something that has a good outcome and you're passionate about it, you're going to do well.
Amazing. I thank you so much for sharing all that with us.
Thanks, Jeremy. That was awesome, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
That was great. And one more time, you guys can find PJ Reilly at Facebook or at his website.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Have a great day,
buddy.
everybody.
Good talk.
Awesome.